the sky, and kings shall deceive. We have come into the night, thunder and rage and war a night. We have come into the night, thunder and rage and war a night. We'll fight for kings, for Ragnarok. Bring her up for Ragnarok, bring her up for Ragnarok, bring her up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla. Bring her up for Ragnarok, bring her up for Ragnarok, bring her up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla. I can feel it in my veins, the warrior inside of me. Bring her up for Ragnarok, bring her up for Ragnarok, bring her up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla. The sounds of arms, fierce morality. Nightfall, the rain, and the silence leads. We have come into the night, thunder and rage and war a night. We have come into the night, thunder and rage and war a night. We'll fight for kings, for Ragnarok. Sail war. Bring her up for Ragnarok, bring her up for Ragnarok, bring her up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla. Bring her up for Ragnarok, bring her up for Ragnarok, bring her up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla. I can feel it in my veins, the warrior inside of me. Bring her up for Ragnarok, bring her up for Ragnarok, bring her up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla.
Microphone would be yours. All right. Sorry for the technical difficulties, everybody. That's what happens when we have to hot swap these seats. Looks like you might need to turn me down a little bit. Talkie. Haha. Thank you, Fat Boy Smoothie. Good old dependable Smoothie. Thank you for the subscription. Hailstorm will definitely love you for a month, if not longer. We up and running now, Hailstorm?
Okay, they can now hear me as well. Alright, sorry about that. I forgot to change over the audio settings. But welcome to the Seer for week number 3, joined by Blitzkrieg Pyro. And we'll run through the week number 2 games and check out what's coming for week number 3. Check out tonight. We're having live games at 9 EST. It'll be Ultra Lords versus the Kraken Slayers. So definitely be sure to check that out in a couple of hours. Here for the first series, we got the Donger Squad versus Titan Gaming Mux. This series was streamed, so we'll run through it pretty quick. And game number 1, Dongers had a blue side, Titan had a red side, had Cyan, MF, Darius, Asol, and Renata against J4, Zyra, Ezreal, Mundo, and Nivea. This one look like some control mages and then some comfort / power picks around the whole map. Any thoughts on the draft, Blitzkrieg?
I remember from the live cast, I know there were some questions about like the Mundo fitting in for Titan Mox, but just trying to have something to answer the Darius. I forget who the top laner was for Dong, but I think the Darius ended up being a major problem. We'll see.
Yeah, Mundo is normally a fairly fine pick into Darius, but we'll check out that score screen. The time for the games tonight is 9 Eastern. That's when they will start. So I don't know when your practice is, but hopefully you can make it, Salt. But here's the score screen. The victory did indeed go over to Donger Squad. Crispy, known for his Darius, didn't pop off too hard on this one.
Okay.
Mundo's passive lets him fight pretty well into the Darius since he can't get pulled in very easily. But they did have a big Asol and Misfortune to take that game number 1.
Mockingbird and Covert Panda just absolutely popping off in this one.
Yes, sir. For
Can't
game
forget those
number
sports.
2. This time, Titan Gaming Box taking the blue side, Donger Squad taking that red side. Titan Gaming grabs Seraphine, Poppy, Zaya, Garen, and Ari. The Donger Squad had Zac, the OP green jungler, Misfortune once again, Darius once again, Braum, and Azir. So, a little bit of change up from both teams. Had some of the picks banned away that they didn't like. We know Zac can kind of be a terror, has a lot of long range engage, and as we had said, Crispy's known for that Darius. This time a better matchup where if Darius gets ahead, he can bully Garen pretty well. Any thoughts from you?
Green junglers.
Green junglers.
No surprise there with the Zac. I really do like the Seraphine first pick. She has such good flexibility. Sorry for my co-pilot here. Has really good flexibility. I like that as a first pick because you can still send it mid. You can send it support. It can even go AD carry. And then I forget again who the Dong mid is. I apologize. But the Azir is that mocking. So it's Mockingbird. Bird's Azir. I know that can be very difficult to pilot if you don't play it a lot, but if somebody can master that in this league, that's gonna be a major threat.
For sure. And we'll hop in that score screen. Dongers were able to secure the victory. This is the game where Crispy had that pop off Darius game. SP Viking doing very well on that Zac in the jungle. And just well played to them, closing out the series 2-0. Our second series also got streamed. It is Titan's Wrath versus Velocity Gaming. Once again, we'll run through these ones quickly, since if you want to see how they went in detail, you can go check out the VODs on Twitch or YouTube. And Titan's Wrath, game 1 on blue side, Velocity Gaming on red side. Titan's Wrath grabbing the Kaisa, Mumu, Renekton, Brand, and Nautilus. Velocity grabbing Jinx, Thresh, Orin, Scion, and Lux. So, a little bit of scaling from both sides. I think Velocity has harder scaling for this game number 1. Titan's Wrath looking for some picks and potential snowballing. Anything you're seeing?
I think this one's also important to note that KV Jelly went top lane for Titan's Wrath.
Yes, Titan's Wrath had to sub out Karma Warrior, so I had a couple swap arounds. And KB Jelly was indeed in that top lane for game number 1. Quincy, if you're in the Discord and interested in casting, just send me a DM to Hailstorm, and I can get you on the production role. So if you're ever around, you can help out with the casting. We would be happy to have you. For game number 1, Velocity took the victory. Had that scaling unlock with the Jinx, Ornn, and Lux. Casual had a monstrous game on the Scion, 16, 3, and 22. Had more than 1,000 stacks on that Heartsteel by the end of the game. Just was all over the map, and looks like just the whole squad from Velocity had a good game. We'll roll it into draft number 2. For this one, Velocity on blue side, Titans on red side. Velocity grabbed that Thresh, Kaisa, Ornn, Lux, and Maokai. Titans Wrath going with the Xayah, Sona, Amumu, Volibear, and Tristana. This time, Hardway was in the mid lane, and is one of his signature champs he likes to play. We don't talk about this game. We're going to talk about this game. Trist was looking very good. Amumu over the map, setting up plays. KB went to the bot lane, played his Sona, and Boomstick ended up in the top lane on that volley. We'll just jump into the score screen. I was giving a little bit of spoilers, but Boomstick got huge on that Magic Bear when AP volley 14, 4, and 6. And as I said, the Trist and Xayah were looking very good. So brought it to game number 3. The draft for this one, Titans Wrath on the blue side, Velocity on the red side. The final pick that was missing, I believe, was Brand.
Yep.
So Titans Wrath had Xayah, Amumu, Blitzcrank, Garen, and Brand. Velocity had Senna, Lux, Zac, Caitlyn, and Malphite. Any thoughts before we look at this score screen?
Green junglers on casual plebs.
Green junglers indeed. I see you said the message was sent. I'll check it out when I get a chance, Quincy. I appreciate it. And if anyone watching, you have your Prime subs available, we'll be happy to take them. We will love you for at least 30 days. And we appreciate the support. We use them to go into our prize pools for the season. And we see game 3 was taken by Velocity, as we said. Casual on the green junglers. Gigantic on that Zac, 16, 1, and 12. Just absolutely everywhere, getting close to 100% kill participation in this game. And just well played to Velocity taking the series. Should have stuck
I know Poco. And then I know Poco really wants that Ashe.
That Ashe, though. Here for series number 3, we had Night Raid Owls against the Kraken Slayers, my team. This one didn't get streamed, so Night Raid had blue side, Kraken had red side for game number 1. Night Raid took out Ori, Tahm Kench, and Swain. We took out the Lilia, Shyvana, and Gwen. Night Raid picked up Maokai. We grabbed Jinx, Pyke. Then it was the Ashe, Jarvan, and we rounded out with Poppy for our third pick. They took away Panth and Syndra from us. We took out that Silas and the Rumble. And then Akalu was picked up. We rounded out our comp with Seer, Mordekaiser, and Camille was the final pick for Night Raid.
Yeah, they definitely did ban Kid Buu first round for sure.
Well, we saw what happened in week number 1, where they were pretty effective in just saying "fuck the Kid Buu champions." So we said, why not do the same?
I really like the top lane matchup for this game, though. I know you're very familiar with both champions, with the Mordekaiser and the Camille.
Yeah, but it's very much. Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, and the other pick that really stands out, or the matchup, is the Akali and the Azir. I mean, there's seems to be a lot more Azir players this season so far.
Yeah, for sure. For top, it's very much Camille trying to scale up, and on the Mord, you're trying to bully early. Kali, always just trying to get fed so you can one-shot basically everybody. We had the Poppy, trying to deny some of that engage from the Camille and Jarvan. And then scaling, obviously, in the Azir Jinx. But we'll jump to score screen number 1, where this game went over to Night Raid Owls.
That Ash.
Yachahu getting gigantic on the Ashe. Whenever I'm playing top, I like more of the melee champions. So when I see an Ashe, I feel annoyed because I'm like, I'm not even going to be able to walk towards you. But I believe had some good ganks from Kidbu early. You see Cocaine went 9-0-10 on that Akali, so also had a very good game. And just well played to NRO for game number 1, taking the victory. Draft number 2. Once again, blue side Night Raid, Kraken Slayer's red side. They took out Ori, Swain, and Tom Kench once again. We stuck with the Lilia, Shyvana, and Gwen bands. They picked up that Maokai once again early. We grabbed Jinx and Nocturne. Then they grabbed that Xayah and Jarvan once again. And we grabbed Nautilus. They did the Samira and Pantheon. This time we took away Silas and Akali, so we didn't want to see that Akali again. Then we grabbed the Rumble, saying, hey, it's open, that champ's pretty strong, we'll try it out. They grabbed Echo, Camille, and then we rounded it out with some Galio in that mid lane. How you feeling about this one?
So yeah, this one I like the Rumble pick there because that could have gone either way. So when they're picking their bot lane, you still have the flexibility there to put it mid if you wanted to. I know that you end up taking it top lane into the Camille. Do you feel like it's a better? I mean, you didn't know that going in, but did you have a strong feeling that they were going to pick the Camille back into you?
I don't know if they picked Camille or something else. I had a pretty good idea that no matter what top he picked, Rumble would be a good matchup into it.
Gotcha.
Pog KS versus OP NRO. I see. So we had planned for a top, but it could have been a flex. But we'll jump into the score screen. And game number 2 went over to Kraken Slayer, bringing series 1-1. Xayah trying to get big, 11-4-6, but I was bullying pretty hard in that top lane, 10-5-9. We got Critter humongous, 18-4-5. And we're able to take game number 2. Which brings
it's complete turnaround, and I mean, Yukahu. Sorry, pronouncing your name wrong. We'll eventually get it down. I mean, still popping off on the Xayah, but complete turnaround from the game 1 for Critter, right?
Yeah, for sure. Flame, you're correct. Rumble doesn't have many bad matchups in the top lane right now. That was also one of the reasons I was happy to blind pick it. Yeah. Rumble's a little ridiculous right now. If you play top, try him out. But here we went to game number 3. Same sides once again. Night Raid said ban to the Ori, Swain, and Rumble this time. Didn't want to see it once again. We still said Shiv, Lilia, and Gwen. Maokai first pick once again. We grabbed that Jinx, Tom Kench. They followed up with Shen Vayne, and we grabbed Elysin for the jungle. Syndra Pantheon once again. Silas J4 for our bands, and then Nautilus was picked up for support. Morgana Nafiri for Night Raid, and Vladimir to round out our draft for the final game.
It's interesting Night Raid's pick to stay blue side there. But also they finally gave you your Tom Kench, choosing to answer it with the Shin. So they kind of had a plan knowing that they weren't going to ban the Tom Kench into you.
Yeah, this game also important to shout out. The NRO top laner was feeling sick that night. So I guess he actually had thrown up during game number 2. So we let him go ahead and sub out to try and feel better. Perfy jumped in for this game number 3, so he was in the top lane piloting the Shen. Got to picked the Shen into the Tom Kench, basically a 50-50 lane as far as the matchup goes. And we'll see how it played out for them. And indeed, NRO did take home the victory. Cocaine, once again, having a very big game, 12-0-4, along with Yukahu going 9-0-6. Just kind of a botched early game scuttle in this game that gave a little bit of a lead, and they rolled with it very well into the victory for the series. Thank you for the subscription, Player Quincy. We will love you for at least 30 days. But well played on a row, and we'll jump into the fourth series from week 2, which was Stoner Nation against HYG. You want to run through this draft, Austin?
Yeah, I can go ahead and do that. So Stoner Nation picking up Ziggs, Rakan, Kaisa, Darius, Elise, and HYG picking up Annie, Zaya, Leona, Vi, and Ornn. So yeah, picking up the Ornn matchup into the Darius, kind of slow playing it, have that control there, not feeding the Darius, letting him pop off. Just trying to play through their other lanes. It looks like here.
Yeah, definitely a weak side top, but one where if you play safe, you will eventually outscale. Hey, my team. Which one's your team, Flame? HYG or
I think he's on
Stoners?
Stoner's Nation, I believe. He
Oh
got
yeah,
picked
you
up
did get picked
this
up. I forgot.
week.
That's why now Flimsy's on the sub team. Shout out to
Yep.
Flame for getting picked up, and also any subs out there hoping to get picked up on teams. It is happening, so just make sure your name's out there. If any captains are looking for people, try to make sure you're available. Best top in the league, possibly. You gotta. I mean, if Flimsy's in top, I think there's a little bit of a fight for it. But right now he's on the sub list. But yeah, Stoner's got, I think, a better early game. Nice artillery mage in the mid lane, and then HYG has the nice all-in team comp with that Vi, Leona, Annie, and Ornn, and then Zaya who can just peel for herself. Flame will stomp all. All right, we'll have to set up another 1v1 tournament so they can fight each other. But we'll jump into the score screen. And the victory goes to HYG. They didn't have Flame in that top lane yet. They were longing for him in this game, number 1. As Bonkers popping off on that Annie 6-1-11. Smoothie doing fantastically on Ornn, 7-0-4. And just looks like a well played game. Closed it out efficiently at 27-30 and went into draft for game number 2. Let you run through this one also.
And Sand Sparrow, yep, we covered Donkers, but the VOD, we'll get that posted shortly after, so you can go back and review that. All right, Stoners Nation on blue side again. Zaya, Jax, Sejuani, Renata, Glask, and Syndra. Sorry. HYG, Nautilus paired with the Samira. That's a very common pairing with the Maokai jungle. A pop? Oh, maybe it's actually a Maokai top. I said that too soon. It's also a Poppy and a Silas. So they definitely got a lot of beef, a lot of CC on HYG again. Definitely a lot of setup for the Samira ult. But then, Stoners Nation with the Sejuani and, has the Jax at least to help stack the Sejuani passive. So could definitely get some good ganks off top lane potentially if they decided they're going to play through top this time.
Yeah, very strong combo. The Jax Sejuani jungle top duo. You get those stacks for Sejuani very quickly. This time they have the Zaya, so the very safe ADC with the self peel. I am liking the change up I'm seeing from Starter Nations for this game number 2. As you said, a lot of CC for HYG, but really relying on the Samira and Silas to do that damage to win out this second game. We'll see how it went though as we jump to the score screen. Looking like this one went over to Stoner Nation. Mind's Desire this time popping off, going 14-1-3 on the Jax. Rise of Dusk 1-12-5 on the Zaya. Just got the 2 big carries super fed, and looks like they got the runaway with this one pretty well. Got themselves 2 Barons and ended the game just past 30 minutes. Well played to Stoner Nations in game number 2. As we go to game number 3, see who can take home the series. And I'll let you take it away one more
Yep.
time.
Stoners Nation, getting the Rakan to actually pair with the Zaya this time. Lux, a Sejuani again, and a Gnar, so maybe kind of playing through the same kind of top strategy again. HYG with the Ezreal, Braum, Orianna, Lee Sin, and the Tom Kench. So answering, another series, we could see the Tom Kench up there.
Sir Kenchington.
How is that matchup into the Gnar, especially with the Sejuani?
Gnar can be annoying just because the range poke slash Gnar in his Mega Gnar form is still like overstated more than anything in the game really. But if you play it fairly safe and play around the Gnar bar, as long as you hit your Qs, you can keep still very healthy and actually end up all-inning the Gnar while he's in mini Gnar. Because if you hit a slow into the knockup, you can kind of get a good all-in for that Tom Kench. So it's not bad as far as the matchup goes in lane. But again, with most top matchups, it's a little bit dependent on how the rest of the map's doing. Because you can do whatever you want on top and still win or lose the game, really.
I gotcha. I do like the damage profile a bit better this time for HYG. Um, you know, multiple sources of damage this time as opposed to just the 2 that had to succeed previously.
Right. But I do like the Ori. Ori, as we've seen, if you're watching Worlds or just playing ranked, is kind of ridiculous right now. Ezreal Braum got good safety and poke, and then Lee Sin just looking for some plays.
That's not to take away from Stutters Nation either. Like obviously they have the Xayah Rakan bot lane, and then so they kind of have their pairing, and then like Lux kind of floating in the middle.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think the bot lane, as far as having pressure, is much better for Stone Nation. But if you're playing Ezreal Braum, you can kind of mitigate it by playing safe and farther
Right.
deck. Sejuani
Absolutely.
is a little sad in this one. Everyone else is ranged. Unless if Gnar is a Mega Gnar, so it doesn't have a buddy to stack up her passive with. But we'll see who pulled off the series. And the victory went over to HYG. Smoothly having a good time in that top lane. Though it looks like they both were doing well in lane. Looks like he just did better in the team fights. Along with that, Beeson doing well, 6-1-9, and looking like a hard fought game. Went to 35 minutes, and HYG takes the series.
That's a big catfish.
We'll jump into the 5th game of week number 2, which was Ultra Lords versus Bomba Bros. For this one, Ultra Lords had blue side game number 1 and banned away Renekton, Senna, and Bard. Bomba Bros took out the Cassiopeia, Rise, and Maokai. Ultra Lords grabbed Ziggs, Bomba Bros grabbed Gnar, Tristana, answered by the Jarvan Jax, and then a Mordekaiser round out the first 3 picks. Renata and Aurelia banned away by Ultra Lords. Samira and Jace for Bomba Bros. Then the Azir was picked up. Bot lane grabbed for Ultra Lords and the Xayah Alistar and Braum to round out the draft.
Another Azir game.
Yep, Azir's been being popular also. Definitely looking for that scaling on him. Once you get to like 3 items in the late game, does a ton of damage. Up against the Ziggs though, Ziggs also does very well and just has that very safe poke where he can land on the enemies. The Xayah is very nice, has that self peel once again against the Tristana who likes to jump in and try to all in a character. And then Jackson the Morid is actually pretty good for Jax because despite being a little bit weaker early, the counter strike helps prevent Mordekaiser. Actually, that was a Gnar top, so I am talking about the wrong matchup. Was that a Mord jungle? Yeah, that's a Mord jungle. That's interesting. It still works. I wouldn't call it ideal. I think Jax also does okay in the Gnar despite the range matchup because of counter strike. But we'll see who won in game number 1. And looks like it went to Ultra Lords. Jack's having a very good game, 12-1-2, along with Kazuto 9-5-6, and it's like they had a pretty decisive victory, got a Baron, 3 Dragons, and closed it out past 30 minutes. Jump into draft number 2 for the series. It's time they swap sides. Bomber Bros took out Cass, Rise, and Jax this time. Ultralords Renekton, Senna, and Ziggs. Had the first pick of the Jarvan, followed up with the Maokai Tristana, and then Lissandra Lucian for Bamba, and Renata Glass for the Ultralords. Bamba took away Samira and I'm blanking right now.
Rumble?
Rock Girl.
Talia. Sorry.
Talia, there
Wrong
we go.
side.
Thank you. And then Nami and Rumble taken out by Ultralords. Garen picked up, answered by Camille and Azir, and then Victor to round out Ultralords. This one, Bomber Bros getting the counter pick in the Camille and Garen. One where Camille just kind of needs to get a couple items and then can destroy Garen just from the second Q procs. I'm sorry, Salt. Sometimes my mind just freezes up on me. And they've got a kind of good synergy where a lot of engage from Jarvan and Lissandra and damage from Lucian and Azir. So I do like that team's comp set up by them. Ultralord's got plenty of damage in the bot, Tristana, Renata Glask, and then a ton of CC from the Mayo. How you feeling about the matchup?
I'm really liking the Victor into the Azir. I think it's a little simpler to execute in our league. I'll need to go back and look at how the Azirs have been performing. I just don't know though. Getting getting those ahead. And then the Renata. I think I really would like to see Renata picked in like the second round, and really kind of depending on how many like 80 carries or 80 sources of damage. Like it's still really good CC, but in terms of like actually doing damage with the Renata ult, so you'll get the Lucian. And there are squishies that the Lucian could take out in team bites. But like I think with maybe like a Seraphine or something be a little more valuable. Yes, you have the W for like if Tristana jumps in. But for the most part, you're kind of trying to just peel and stay alive, especially early on against Lucian.
True, but we'll jump in, see how it went. And it looks like Los Amadas took this series 2-0. Well played by them.
Ultralords.
Sorry, yes, Ultralords. Not looking like anybody super popped off, but looks like they just had a lot of farm leads in the lanes and had good objective controls and finished it out, I'm assuming, after they took that second Baron. So well played to them. I'm scared to see a Camille in the league. Camille's great. Don't hate Camille. And talking about petting zoos and deity, we'll jump into series number 6, where it was Los Tomatas against the Goat Kings, where they have goats.
Goats, my goats.
Might want to ban it versus Kraken Slayers. No, never ban Camille against Kraken Slayers. It's not a good idea.
Or Tom Kench. Don't do it.
Yeah, just don't ban any tops. Let me play what I want.
Right.
But here for this final matchup of week 2, we had Los Nemadas against the Goat Kings. Los Nemadas blue side, Goat Kings red side for game number 1. Took out the Anivia, Nautilus, and Varus. Goat Kings took away Lux, Ezreal, and Karma. Swain was the first pick for Los Nomadas. I'm assuming that'll go mid with Snurbopsy. Sejuani Tarek grabbed. They wouldn't let me play Swain. How rude of them.
That's right. Didi's not in jungle right now. He was in lane, so
yeah, now you gotta watch out for it again. Braum Riven grabbed for Los Nomadas, and then Pantheon for the Goat Kings. Pantheon is a big pickup now for them, as Salt and Deity both like to play that. Although he wasn't jungling, so that is most likely top. Then the bans were Samira, Nyla, and Amumu Morgana. Had the Kog'Maw pickup into the Caitlyn Maokai, and then rounded out with Silas, which was it that big Silas support that Beard loves? No, it wasn't, because he had Turk. How you feel about these matchups?
There's so much to ban from Go Kings, but I was very surprised that the Pantheon was not first round banned. So that was a really good pickup by them. Also surprised to see that Goat Kings did not take the Seraphine. Beard's very well known for that.
10%
Neither
of
side.
top lane.
And
Spoilers, Salt. Spoilers.
but no, I really like both these drafts. A lot of people playing to their champion pool and what they really like to do.
Just wait. All right, let's wait and see with all these spoilers since all the goats are in chat. And the victory goes to Los Nomadas. Looking like Omega had a big game on the Riven, 8-2-6. Junie pretty big on the Caitlyn, 8-4-4. Snowbop's having a pretty good swing game as well. Looks like Goat King Salt getting that camp set up on him. Wasn't that far behind in farm, actually winning in farm, but did get killed off a couple of times.
Objective control by Bulgaria.
Yeah, Bulgaria known for his objective control. If you're ever playing against Los Amadas, if an objective's up, their jungler's probably there. Just by the way. But we'll play game number 1 to Los Amadas. We'll jump into draft number 2.
There it is.
Which had Go Kings blue side, Los Nomadas red side. Beard will be happy he got his Seraphine this game against Braum Ezreal. Then he had Ashe Amumu and Maokai. Looking like that Riven was banned away after game number 1. Didn't want to see it again from Omega. And not having blue side, Los Nomadas felt the need to ban away the Swain. Didn't want to let Deity have that champion. We love
Also
Braum
picking up
Ezreal.
Goat King's also picking up in round 1 or first pick phase, picking up the Amumu, forcing Bulgaria on something else.
Oh yeah, for sure. But it seemed like he was comfortable on the Maokai, so he pulled it out. Go Kings then grabbed that Ziggs and Set, and the finish off of Los Tomatas was Lissandra and Garen. The Set Garen matchup can be fun. Set's stronger pre-6, just the double punch does ridiculous damage. If you can keep it pretty even, then you can get the edge with Garen if you have the Ignite plus ultimate damage. So I'll be interested to see how that lane went. Beard is super happy he got Seraphine. Champion is one of his favorites. If you're playing against them, you should avoid letting him have it. But any thoughts on the matchup overall?
I know Reaper is really comfortable on that Ziggs. Salt's really comfortable on the set, so just looking at Go Kings this round, I feel like they got a lot of their comfort picks still. I mean, I know it's again, like I said, it's hard to ban them out, but if they didn't get their first pick, they got their second pick, or vice versa this game. Again, we did get the Pantheon ban this time. I do like the overall team CC that Los Nomadas has. I think that's a little lacking on Goat Kings. But you do have the Ashe that can really start the pick of the fight, and then the Seraphine follow up with the team fight CC, so you get a big AoE team fight CC on both sides.
For sure. Well, let's see
I think it's going to be the objective. Yeah.
Let's see how this game ended up going as we jump in the score screen, and the game went to the Goat Kings, taking the series 1-1. Salt very happy he had his set, had a big game. I'm assuming got that lead early and ran with it. Goat King Reaper having a solid Ziggs game, 6-2-6, along with Deity, 7-4-11. Junie actually was pretty big this game, but wasn't enough to pull her team back. But we'll jump into draft for game number 3, see who was able to pull off the series victory. Where we had Los Nomadas back on the blue side, Goat Kings on the red side. Los Nomadas took out that Varus, Nautilus, and Nivea. Goat Kings took out Riven, Karma, and Swain. Namadas grab that Amumu first pick, wanted to get it back in the jungle for themselves. Goat Kings grabbing Sejuani and Seraphine. More comfort for King Beardcles. Third game of Braum Ezreal for that bot lane of Los Nomadas, so one they've been liking. And then Ashe for Goat Kings. Pantheon set banned away by Los Nomadas, targeting Salt. Goat Kings took out Fiora and Olaf, grabbing the Ziggs as a safe mid pick that they liked in game number 2. Los Nomadas grab that Annie and Jax and round out the draft with that Renekton. So, a lot of good updates, I like to see it from both sides. Trying to grab the comfort for each of them, and a lot of scaling slash just good all in on both sides. So it seems like just a very brawly game, and we'll be interested to see who can come out on top. You got any thoughts?
I like the Renekton Sejuani pairing. Yeah, it worked. So obviously they played through top in game 2. Looks like they're gonna double down on that in game 3. And just the between with Ziggs and the Ashe Seraphine bot lane, they can kind of disengage and let them go play through the strong top side, and then just scale up elsewhere. And then for Los Nomadas, again, like you said, they have a lot of scaling as well, so it's kind of looks like a little more of a slow play game, even though we know Los Nomadas wants to play around those objectives.
Yes, sir. But jumping into the score screen, the victory taken by the Goat Kings, taking the series 2-1 in a 40-minute game. Looks like this one could have gone either way. It took them a Dragon Soul and 2 Barons to close out this one. Fighting through that big Snurbopsy, 10-3 and 6. But Goat Kings were able to close it out in the end and win the series. That'll cover all the games from week number 2. So now we'll look at the games coming up this week. Reminder that the Kraken Slayer Ultra Lords game will be happening tonight in about an hour and a half from now. So come and check that out. But we've got Titan Gaming Mox against Los Nomados, Velocity Gaming versus HYG, Donger Squad versus Bomber Bros, Night Raid Owls versus Stoner Nation, Titan's Wrath versus Goat Kings, and Kraken Slayers versus Ultra Lords. And we actually created some predictions for these that we'll look at in a little bit to see the community picks. But do you have any picks as you're looking at these games right off the bat?
I definitely filled this out and submitted it, so I'm interested to see what everybody says. Do you want me to run through all 6 what I think right now?
If there's any you feel strongly about or any you think will be just good matchups.
I actually think this is going to be a pretty balanced week for matchups. None of the matchups are very one-sided or anything. Again, I'm very excited to see the Kraken Slayers versus Ultra Lords tonight and see how that one plays out. Not just hype up tonight's game, but that's the closest one, and I know Kraken Slayers is trying to find their footing, so I'll be see if they can come back here. I think Ultra Lords is like 2-1 right now, or I guess maybe they're 2-0.
I think they're 2-0. Yeah, Ultra Lords have been
2-0,
looking
so.
strong. We've been having 2-1 weeks, or 1 and 2 weeks, so we're 0-2, but we just got the Golden Pharaoh and Killer Kumquat on our team, so we're hoping the switch up will help us out. We're gonna have the goats casting the game tonight. Apparently, I believe it'll be Deity Salt and King Beardcles on that cast. So check it out for all of them having a good time watching these games happen. Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of these games will be pretty tight. I'm hoping we can pull together and take our first win over Ultra Lords tonight. I'm also pretty excited for that Titan Gaming Box Los Nomadas, 2 very strong squads. So I think that'll be a fun series. But I'll bring up the predictions where very heavily, the community's thinking Los Nemadas will take out Titan Gaming Mux. For Velocity, very close vote, almost 50-50 in the Velocity HYG game. For the Dongers versus Bomber Bros, have a little more support for the Donger, but very close to even once again. For Night Red Owls versus Stoner Nation, got a little bit of an edge to the Night Red Owl votes, but again, very close. Game number 5, big belief in the Goat Kings to take down Titan's Wrath, so we'll be looking for some upsets as far as the community vote. And then the final series tonight, a ton of support, tied for the most support with Titan Gaming Box. Los Tomatas is Kraken Slayers against the Ultra Lords, where everyone's thinking Ultra Lords will take us down, so we're just going to be here to try to prove them wrong. And I do enjoy these community votes, so as we put them up, make sure to get your votes in, and we can see where everyone's feeling each matchup is going to take each series. Stoner Nation Dark Horse, Flame already calling an upset. We're going to love to see it play out, though. Modlock going to be rocking the play-by-play for us tonight. Are you guys going to have 4 people casting tonight? Whatever. You guys do you. Just have fun with it.
Gotta be nutty.
Make sure everyone comes and hangs out tonight. Grab beverages if you're of age. Just have a good time. But thank you all for coming and checking out the Seer. Hope you're hyped for the games for week number 3. And we'll see you in an hour and a half. If you have your Prime subs, once again, we would love to take them. And check out the YouTube, the merch store, and the Discord if you're not in it and are interested in being in the league. Any final thoughts, Blitzkrieg?
Hey, so we got votes up for what games you guys want to see live streamed. So we're gonna get to bring you 2 this week with a non-Sunday live stream. So make sure you're getting those votes in. Be represented there if you have something to say about it, and make sure you're participating in these pick'ems here. And we're very interested in seeing what does the league think. There's 60 players currently on active rosters, and we only got 30 votes in here. It doesn't take that long to pick those 6. So let's try to get some of these responses up, and let's get a good thumb on the pulse of the league and see where people are thinking things are.
That's right. And we have thoughts of some more fun things to do with the pick'ems if they seem popular. So make sure if you like them, you're participating, because probably for the following seasons we'll make them more in depth and potentially turn them into some kind of competition. But stay tuned for all that. But until later today, we'll catch you next time. Goodbye.